Hello and welcome to the gaming scene, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host Connor, and as you can tell, my cold hasn't gone. And I'd also quickly like to apologise that this game releases video has not been released on the day it's supposed to. It was supposed to be released on the 17th, i.e. Monday. It's the 19th today. It's extremely late. I've had a few technical issues involving a lot of my audio data being wiped that I was currently working on, so I haven't been able to release it and record it, which is a little bit annoying. But it's all back now. I'm all recorded now, so let's just crack on with what games are coming this week. Yesterday on Tuesday, we saw Borderlands 2 come out for PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. Borderlands, if you don't know what Borderlands is, then it's basically you explore this world, defeat villains, you know, and first one it was about vault hunting, second one is about Handsome Jack, I believe, and basically in it you have to, you know, move around doing different missions, and it's the art style that really sets off this game because it's such a fantastically cartoony art style. It's really good. And Borderlands 2 is set to feature better vehicles, new dynamic missions that will actually affect how the story plays out. It's more expansive weapon system, which is hard to believe, I know, and also more intelligent AI. So looks to be fantastic, and I certainly want to get my hands on that. Anyway, moving on to F1 2012, also released yesterday for PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, which will once again be the annual Formula 1 game for the year, featuring all 24 drivers, 20 tracks, including the US track of Austin, and will feature some new modes like the Young Driver Test, which will act as a tutorial, as well as Champions mode, which will put you in scenarios against all 6 champions competing in this season. So that also looks like a fantastic addition. Hopefully it'll be much better than the previous ones, which haven't really seen my approval. Next up we have Jet Set Radio HD, released on PlayStation 3, which is going to be a HD port of the original Dreamcast game released in 2000. So any of you who played the Dreamcast game and want to get back into it again on your PlayStation, you can do yesterday. And next up we have Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition for PC, another remake, this time of 1998 Baldur's Gate and the expansion called Tales of Swords Coast. There will be future DLC and for this game, and it's also going to be relatively easy to mod. So if you want to relive the history of Baldur's Gate, you now can, and in this fantastic PC Enhanced Edition. We also have Street Fighter 25th Anniversary Collector's Set, mouthful I know, for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, which will feature Street Fighter 2, 3, 4, X Tekken, some statues featuring characters from Street Fighter, as well as some of the soundtracks, an art book, and some exclusive videos. So if you really are a Street Fighters fan, make sure you get your hands on that. We also have My Fairy Tale Adventure for the Wii. Now most of you will not be interested in this, but for those of you who are, it is Disney princess game where you take control of the fairy godmother and solve a little impish problem going around the lands whilst encountering most of the Disney princesses. So let's quickly move on from princesses and on to Thundercats. Well, Thundercats, most of you may know the action series from 1985 to 1989. Some of you may know that, some of you old folk. And it's back on DS. The DS game is being released, which means you can now play as Lion-O and defeat Mum-Ra on your DS, on your handheld console. So all of you wanted to relive a bit of history, you can now do that, which is fantastic. Also coming to Xbox, we have Connect Sports Ultimate Collection, featuring Connect Sports Season 2, as well as 5 bonus packs. So, you know, if you want to have a bit more Connect Sports and you didn't buy it in the first place, you can now for a much better deal. Connect Nat Geo TV, also for Xbox, which is an educational based game with different puzzles that you solve in order to help you learn about you know, the environment and nature. And in a similar strain, there's Connect Sesame Street TV for Xbox, which is a sort of similar idea where you learn and you solve puzzles and play games, but instead in the world of Sesame Street and using all the characters from that game. So if you want to have a bit more of an interactive Connect experience, those two are out, as well as the Sports Edition. Now we have what's released today, which is Wednesday, and it's Jet Set Radio HD comes out for PC and Xbox 360 today. PS3 gets it a day earlier, and also Realms of Ancient War for Xbox 360, which is a hack and slash which puts you in a war-torn land where the races of dwarves, elves, and men are facing a new threat which they have to overcome, and they send out teams. Nobody comes back, and so you are tasked with defeating this new and vicious threat. Sounds interesting, I have to say, but I don't have an Xbox, so I can't explore it, unfortunately. Next up, on Thursday, which is tomorrow, we have Torchlight 2 coming out for PC, which is an action RPG. There is Torchlight 1, which was a really great game, and now there's Torchlight 2, which lets you scale randomly generated dungeons with other teammates. You can play, and you can get experience, which you've got to scale through, get experience by killing monsters, pick up all the loot, and basically be the best there can be. Level up and that. There are 4 classes. Your close combat, tank class, your mage, your range, and also your quick attacker, like scout sort of person. And everybody can play as different classes and have a good fun. I've got a copy of that, and I'm bound to play a bit of that because that looks awesome, I have to say. Train Simulator 2013, this is just a train simulator, but that is going to be released on PC on Thursday. It is what it says on the tin. If you want to have a really accurate train simulation experience, then you've got the new version out, which is always great. It's good to have these different simulators out there to cater for different people's needs. Next up we have La Mulana for Wii, which is another remake, this time of the PC game, which is apparently similar to Castlevania and Metroid, where you explore the tomb of La Mulana with your Indiana Jones whip. Sounds interesting? Well, with all the Wii U hype coming out, you might not want to invest in the Wii at the moment, but if you do, there's always a couple of new games trickling out, like this one, which you may want to get your hands on. And finally, for Thursday, The Testament of Sherlock Holmes on PC, which is an open world adventure where you solve crimes as the genius Sherlock Holmes. But eventually, you get accused of being the person who does it, and you take on the role of Watson to, prove that the fact that Holmes did it is wrong. There's going to be all sorts of choice-based controls in this game where you choose which leads to pursue, and how you do that depends on how you solve the crime. So yeah, that looks certainly interesting. It looks much better than some of the normal, Sherlock Holmes crime-solving games. Looks fantastic, I have to say, so make sure you check it out. Next up we have Friday and Dogfight 1942. Friday is a very World War II themed day. Dogfight 1942 is a World War II flight fight game where you get to conquer the skies, in your World War II style aircraft, and basically blow the hell out of the enemy, depending on who you choose to be. And also on PC, we have Air Conflict Specific Carrier, where you get to become, in a different role, the captain of a World War II aircraft carrier. You can fly the airships, but you can also command the aircraft carrier to tell ships where to go and what to do, and basically you get to blow up stuff, which is all fantastic. So definitely worth checking out if you want to take on a bit of a different flight game role. That's always quite an interesting way of doing it. And finally, up this week we have on Saturday alea jacta, which is a Grand War strategy game. Some of you may recognise the phrase. It's the one that Caesar said as he crossed the river to start one of the most famous Roman civil wars, and this is what the game is based on, the Roman civil wars. It's a grand strategy game, as I said, with tons of features all used from previous AGEOD games, AGEOD games, and they've created loads of great games, so you can tell that there's going to be loads of great features packed into this, which is really great to see. So this week's quite a great week, I have to say. Borderlands 2 and F1 2012 and Torchlight 2 coming out. It's quite fantastic. There's a good few remakes in there, as well as, some good few remakes. There's also some interesting games like Dogfight and alea jacta. So there's plenty for all people to cater for, and so this will keep plenty of people like myself amused. I'm definitely going to get my hands on Borderlands. I've got Torchlight 2, maybe F1 2012. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, with all of that, what you're going to want to get from next week, well, I don't know if you're going to want to bother with last week, sorry. But if you want to bother with last week, there's Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was released last week, which is just like a fantastic game. It's the usual Tekken style gameplay, fighting, but this time it's 2-on-2 combat, so you can tag your teammate in, bring him in, help you heal, and your teammate comes in and does a bit of fighting, and then you can bring yourself back in, and that sort of thing. And also NHL, the Ice Hockey 13 game, with all new improved AI, different rating system, and 2 real professional hockey player women for the first time. So if you want your ice hockey dose for the year, NHL 13 seems to provide that in much great form. And of course, if you want to get into ice hockey, then this is the game, because it looks really great, I have to say. And finally, Faster Than Light, FTL, Faster Than Light. A few of the guys at the team have been playing this, and they've been really loving it. It's on PC. And it's basically where you control your spaceship in space, and you've got to do all these micromanagement. It's top down, you've got to repair your ship and all that, whilst attacking different segments of the opponent's ship. And it's sort of like that. I can't explain it very well, I have to say, because I've not played it. but I can assure you it is a fantastic game, as I have been myself assured that it is a really great game. So make sure you get your hands on it, and I have to say. And anyway, that's all that's been released this week. Sorry once again for the lateness, and well, what can I say? I appreciate you waiting, if you have waited for this, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. You know, we're the Gamer Scene. Make sure you check out the website www.thegamerscene.com, and of course, you know, if you want to see more, then stick around. That's all I can say, because we've got plenty of great reviews, great gameplay, and of course videos like this coming up. And of course later this week we have the news update as usual. It will be on time, I promise you. I can promise you that it will be on time. So yeah, make sure you look out for those, and that's all for me. Apologies for the cold once again, my nose is so horribly blocked. And that'll be me, Connor, out.